And we had a very good discussion with the president about that. That is why it's so important to support the bold decisions that the country is making right now. Strengthening the Lebanese armed forces, who are essential to securing the country's future and borders. Advancing financial reforms that will put Lebanon's economy on a more solid ground. These are difficult steps. We understand that, and we appreciate the challenges in getting those things done. They are critical, however, and in Congress, back in the United States, we will continue to press for support through legislation and through the appropriations process, support for the avenue that Lebanon has chosen for your future. We will also continue to urge Lebanon's leaders to follow through on this progress, and we have meetings later today with the Speaker and with the Prime Minister. So thank you. We will now be happy to answer questions.
Hello, Tony Murat from LBCI TV. I have two quick questions, please. The first one, when will the Israeli withdrawal from Lebanon begin, and will the Israeli attacks on Lebanon will stop soon? My second question, please, Senator. Senator Lindsey Graham said yesterday that he envisions a future mutual defense agreement between the U.S. and Lebanon. Have you started negotiations regarding this agreement, or still just an idea? Thank you.
I have not been part of any of the discussions with Israel, so I'm not going to speak to that. Ambassador Barrack and Ms. Ortega can speak to those meetings, and I'll ask Senator Graham to speak to the defense agreement discussion.
Okay. Number one, the reason I mentioned that, Lebanon needs to have a vision of where Lebanon wants to go. The idea of disarming Hezbollah is not coming from me, it's coming from the Lebanese people. The Lebanese military seems to be the one institution in the country everybody's proud of. So what did we learn today? We're appropriators and Congressman funders. Yeah, we have the money. So Congressman Wilson is very involved in securing America, and the best way to secure America is to have good partners. And the best way to have a good partner is to have a military that's loyal to the people, not to a particular sect within the people. And Hezbollah is not loyal to the people. Hezbollah's agenda is not Lebanon's agenda. Hezbollah has an agenda inconsistent with you thriving and surviving. So I think you as a people, the Lebanese people, overwhelmingly want a better future. They want a future where the Palestinian militias are disarmed. They want a future where Hezbollah is disarmed, and that the people carrying arms are the Lebanese army. The Lebanese army is trusted to take care of everybody's interests regardless of sect. If you can pull that off, that would be the biggest accomplishment in modern history of Lebanon. This is a challenge. Iran is its weakest. Iran is up to no good, but their capability is tremendously diminished. You have an opening here. Saudi Arabia is openly talking about maybe one day having a relationship with Israel. I hope that day will come. So my advice, when Israel leaves the 5 points, that really, the discussion is what happens when Lebanon decides to disarm Hezbollah. Then you talk to Israel. Once Hezbollah has been disarmed by the people of Lebanon, transferring power from militias to the Lebanese military through the people, through the political process, then you'll have a different conversation with Israel. I'm going to Israel pretty soon. It's all talk until something changes. Israel's never going to look at Lebanon differently until you do something different, and that is disarm the enemy of the Israeli people. Hezbollah has American blood on its hands, has Israeli blood on its hands, has Lebanese blood on its hands. So don't ask me any questions about what Israel's going to do until you disarm Hezbollah. If you disarm Hezbollah, we'll have a good conversation. If you don't, it's a meaningless conversation.
Thank you, Senator. I have a question. This is Susan Hidamus from the Washington Post. So would you please explain to us what is the Trump economic zone? People are wondering, is it an area that, what is it? How can you explain it, please?
I'll let my Republican colleagues answer that. I'm the Democrat in the group.
Well, she's very valuable. I'll let these two guys talk about the economic. It's to make sure that people have the capability to feed their family and, secure the area that's in question. If you take a contested area and make it stable, that's good for Lebanon. That's good for Israel. I think President Trump, through Tom and Morgan, have a plan to create stability along the border. I'll let them talk about that. But the one thing I forgot to mention is a defense agreement. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the biggest change in the history of Lebanon. And why am I talking about it? How many nations have a defense agreement with the United States? Very few. NATO, we have Article 5 commitment. But the number of nations that America is willing to go to war for is very few. Why did I mention Lebanon being in that group? You have one thing going for you that is very valuable to me, religious diversity. Christianity is under siege in the Mideast. Christians are being slaughtered and run out of all over the region, except here. And so what I am going to tell my colleagues, and Jean has been great, why don't we invest in defending religious diversity in the Mideast? Why don't we have a relationship with Lebanon where we would actually defend what you're doing? I think it's in America's interest to defend religious diversity, whether you're Druze or Alawite or a Christian or whatever. The idea that America may one day have a defense agreement with Lebanon changes Lebanon unlike any single thing I could think of. And why am I pushing this idea? Because I want to defend religious diversity. I want those who want to destroy religious diversity to understand your days are numbered.
Thank you so much. The next question, please.
Welcome to Lebanon. Have you been informed by President Aoun about the military plan that the government will approve to disarm?
What we discussed is that there will be a plan forthcoming in the next week or so is the proposed date, and we look forward to seeing that. Next question.
Mr. Graham. Mr. Graham?
Yes.
Yes. In which way you believe that the Prime Minister, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, will help Lebanon to disarm Hezbollah if Lebanon has to do all the steps first?
Well, if I were the Israeli Prime Minister, I would be looking at Lebanon differently after Hezbollah was disarmed by the Lebanese people. That's your decision. Why do you need Israel to tell you to disarm Hezbollah? That's not Israel's decision. That's yours decision. Whether they withdraw or not, it depends on what you do. So don't tell me anymore, we're not going to disarm Hezbollah until Israel does something. If that's the model, you're going to fail. The reason you disarm Hezbollah, because it's best for you. This country is going backward, not forward, if you don't follow through with disarming the Palestinians and Hezbollah and making the Lebanese army the central repository of arms for the nation. If you don't do that, you're going nowhere. Saudi Arabia is not coming here unless you do that.
All right, now, next question.
Okay, thank you so much. Our next question is going to go here to...
Hello. In parallel with the military and political pressures on Lebanon, what has Israel implemented from the ceasefire agreement?
Again, we're not going to address questions about what Israel's doing because I haven't been part of those discussions.
What has Israel implemented from the ceasefire agreement?
The Senator has already responded to that question. We'll do one more question for this delegation, and then we'll move on.
I'm not part of those discussions, so I'm not going to speak to them.
We know the Lebanese army have the will to disarm Hezbollah. At least they are putting a plan on the table. But they need support, financial and logistics.
Yes.
Did you talk about this today?
We did talk about that. We talked about the importance of equipment and training for the LAF. We talked about the budget process. As Senator Graham said, he and I are both appropriators. In fact, Senator Graham chairs the committee in the Senate that provides the funding for foreign assistance and foreign affairs. I'm also on the Armed Services Committee. We talked about the importance of continuing to support the LAF in this effort and what the United States can help to do.
Yeah, I didn't come here for my health. I came here because there's an opportunity I've been told about through Morgan and Tom. They're here because the president wants them here. We all see Lebanon as at a point of change. We're here to tell you that we're buying into that change, that we support what you're trying to do, that if you do make an effort to disarm Hezbollah, we'll be there trying to help. We'll try to help your military. We'll try to help your economy. We think that's the right thing for you to do, and it benefits the entire region. If you're able to pull this off, Saudi Arabia will look at you differently. If you're able to pull it off, Israel will look at you differently. If you're able to pull this off, there'll be a groundswell of support in Washington to help your economy and to help your military. The biggest challenge you have is what we're talking about here. I came here because people who've been working this file tell me that Lebanon is moving in the right direction. The statement the government made a couple of weeks ago about disarming Hezbollah was great. The statement Israel made yesterday about what they see in Lebanon is great. I'm here to build on the success of others. I'm coming here with Jean, she's a great partner in the Senate, to tell you that the Congress is looking at Lebanon differently because you're behaving differently. If you continue to go down this road, I think you have a wonderful opportunity to secure your nation economically and militarily like anything I've seen since I've been coming to the region with John McCain. It all depends on what happens with the Hezbollah file and the Palestinian file.
Let me just add one thing to that, because much of the discussion has been about Hezbollah, and one of the other things that I know you're working very hard on here is banking reform. That's been a huge issue for people in the country and for building on economic initiatives and progress. And so we are also supporting those efforts at banking reform because we know how critical they are to people throughout the country, and hope that Parliament will be successful in getting that done.
Thank you so much, Senator Shaheen.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to, Joe Wilson, member of the House, the lower house, the People's House in the United States, and I'm very grateful to be here with it. We could tell you that there's support for the people of the region, but you can see it, and it's live. It's bicameral, Senate and House, Republican and Democrat, and then what an exciting time. And then for the people of Lebanon, you need to be aware that there's such a direct connection. Everywhere you go, you find out Lebanese Americans are everywhere. I had no idea that Senator Shaheen's husband was Lebanese. And then a superstar, Ambassador Tom Barrack, of Lebanese American heritage. And so I'm really grateful. Emily Salibi in my office, the legislative director, over and over again. And so we'll claim everybody. But again, I'm just really grateful for the connection that we have. And then it's also an exciting time. We met with President al-Shara yesterday. To me, it's so important for the people of Syria and the region. To me, this has I believe, the consequence, the fall of the Berlin Wall. Now have the fall of Bashar al-Assad. There's such an opportunity for stability, security, for economic prosperity for everyone. And I'm just so grateful that we also have a president working with Ambassador Tom Barrack and Morgan Ortegas, who is a visionary. Who would ever imagine? Just recently, he's a proponent of peace. The agreement between Armenia and Azerbaijan. I was in Yerevan a year ago. The prospect of that was totally inconceivable, but it's occurred. And so we have a president who wants to step in, Donald Trump, who wants a Middle East that's prosperous, stable, capable of having opportunities for the younger citizens, everyone. So I'm grateful to be part of the delegation, bipartisan, bicameral. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
One thing, we had a great ambassador here, but President Trump's, one of his closest friends, has been picked to be ambassador of Lebanon. We're going to try to get them as soon as we can.
Thank you so much, Senator. Thank you so much, Representative Wilson. We will hold a separate event for other questions. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. There will be a separate event for Ambassador Barrack and Ortegas. Not right now. Thank you. All right. Back down, please. Yes? Okay.